Hello again, this is Sports Betting Whale, August 23rd, 2017. Thanks again for joining me on these video channels. The theme of today's video is to literally show you how I took $2,500 on Monday and turned it into $33,822 in just 27 hours. Here's a recap of yesterday's result. I enjoyed another monster winning day. Every single one of my round robins cashed out either 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4. And I went up 68.25 units in one single day. Yesterday alone, I wagered $10,250 and ended up getting paid back $32,511. In just 27 hours of betting on sports, I've now literally taken $2,500 and turned it into $33,822. And here's the proof. As you can see on the screen, on August 21st, I started out with just $2,500 in my pockets. Why $2,500? I wanted to show people that you can take low amounts of thousands of dollars and turn it into hundreds of thousands of dollars in one winning streak. Now, let's say you don't have $2,500. You could have started with $500, and on Monday you would have ended up with $2,500, and then you would have been able to progress that in on Tuesday's winnings, and you'd be sitting at close to $8,000 off your $500. That's how quick it happens. I've done it before. I've taken as little as $300 when I was younger and run it up to hundreds of thousands, eventually millions of dollars off a $300 investment. And remember, I'm taking money back as I go. That's part of the policy, and that's what I want to see you do as well. You run on a streak, you take money back as you go, and you keep progressing. Once the streak stops and we lose 2 days in a row, you go back to base amounts and wait for the next run. It's an amazingly profitable system that's worked for me for 30 years. And I really am looking forward to showing every one of you how you can take a small amount of money and run it up big. We've got a nice system for when there's cold streaks now. Basically, if you don't have a lot to play with, you're just sitting on the sidelines and watching from the stands, watching from the bleachers. Once things get going again and the water's warm, you'll be invited back in and you'll run up the system using the progression techniques that I'm teaching you. I've used this system since I was a young person and just learning. And I've tried every type of approach out there. I've also talked to a lot of people that bet sports for a living, and I've studied other people, and I know their systems and I know what they do. This system that I have of accelerating round robin approach is the most profitable long-term system I've ever seen, and it also allows you to make enough money that really makes a difference. Other systems are nice systems, they're grind systems, and they go hot and cold too, but over the course of time you grind out a little bit of money. That's good, keep doing those, that's fine. But what I do when I get hot, you see I get really hot. In the last 2 days alone, I've had 13 winners and 2 losers. That's okay. Wait till you see me go 29 out of 30 or 38 out of 40. Watch how much money we win on one of those runs. And it's true of all sports. I will do it, and I do it all the time. And I'm going to teach you how to manage the money so that you can go ahead and progress when we're hot, take money back as we go, and then turn around and go back to base amounts when the streaks end. It's almost like riding waves. I've talked about it before. You want to ride the waves as long as you can. Ride it all the way to the beach if you can. But sometimes the waves get choppy and you can't ride them long, and sometimes the waves crash on us. But we'll catch the waves, and those long run waves will make you hundreds and hundreds of times your average bet, which you'll be banking. So they're not going to get it back from you. They never got it back from me. They're never going to get it back from you too. I know that's a long-winded explanation of the system, but I just really want to impress upon you how successful I've been using this approach and how successful you'll be as well. These round robin accelerator systems are amazing. So let's go back to the recap. Yesterday, I took the $1,310 and gave it to someone, and I ended up using the remaining $10,250 to bet on my round robin picks. I ended up winning 3 out of 4 on 2 of my round robins and 4 out of 4 on the other. That turned my $10,250 into $32,511 by the day's end. So my $32,511 winnings plus the $1,310 that I gave to somebody, I now have in my hands $33,822. So in just 2 days, In just a span of 27 hours, I've taken 2,500 and ran it into 33,822, and you witnessed it right before your eyes. Again, you saw in the past I always start with more money, but I wanted to show everybody I'm going to start with $2,500 and watch what happens. Now today I bet in the low 20s and I already pocketed $12,000 or $13,000 off the winnings from the last 2 days. So I started with $2,500, I pocketed $1,300 the first day, I pocketed $12,000 or $13,000 today, and I put the rest into play. If we win again, I could win as much as $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 today. I'll pocket more. That's how this system works. You put money away as you're winning, and you continue to progress until we have 2 losing days in a row, and then you go back to the base. And I'm not done yet. And I'm talking about if this streak continues, and I feel like there's a big streak coming. Hopefully it's this one, but you'll see a wave that takes us all the way to the beach here pretty soon, 5 to 8 day run. I'm known for going on these big runs where I've won hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars off small starting bankrolls. It's going to happen again, and I literally can't wait for you to see it. Why? Yes, it's fun for me to win again, but I've done it hundreds of times. I want you guys to win. I want you to experience the thrill of taking a small amount of money and winning a large amount of money and being able to share it with your friends and family, save something, buy something you've been wanting to buy. There's a lot of things that you can do that make you happy with the extra money. I'm showing you all the betting tickets every single day, win, lose, or draw. I come in front of the camera. If I have a bad day, I admit it, and I don't hide from what the reality is. I just know what the reality will be, and you're going to see that it's going to be pretty darn exciting. So I show you the tickets every single day. We track it on the whaletracker.com. Very honest, very transparent. Find someone else that does it the way I am. Find someone with the honesty and the transparency, doesn't hide from you when they're cold, and shows you what they're doing step by step and puts their own money where their mouth is every step of the way. I don't know anyone else that's doing that. And if I were you, I'd be pleased to have somebody that cares about you, that really wants you to win, is putting way more money on it themselves than they're asking you to. So I only win if I win. Nothing else brings me a win. So in the last week, my round robins are up 186 units. And myself, I'm up profitable 46,317 in the same span. It's looking quite likely that the patterns are forming and the monster hot streak is unfolding right before us. If the streak continues for even a few more days, you will literally see me turn $2,500 into hundreds of thousands of dollars right in front of your eyes. There'll be no disputing that this system is amazing, because no one else even attempts that. No one else tries to turn $2,500 into hundreds of thousands in a week other than me. Might be interesting for you to know that sports betting isn't my only success. In fact, it doesn't even compare to some of the other successes I've had. While I've made tens of millions of dollars in 30 years betting on sports, I've actually made far more money from investing in early stages of internet companies and technology companies, and also I've been part of some pretty well-known beverage companies as well. When I was in my early 30s, my wealth had ballooned to hundreds of millions of dollars on paper, mainly from investments into startups that I had at an early age that ended up with IPOs worth hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. To this day, I still seek out and invest in early stage companies that show explosive potential for growth. My mission now is to help others share in this knowledge and success. I want to help you also make fortunes using the same methods that I've used my whole life to become very wealthy since I was in my 20s. I've done it from betting on sports, and I've done it by investing in early stage internet tech startup companies that I found to have exceptional potential. That's why I thought you'd be interested if I shared some information about a startup company that I've been recently investing in heavily. I believe that this startup company is on the verge of a major breakout, and as keeping with tradition, I always put my money where my mouth is. Before I've even said a word to any of you, I've put substantial amount of money into this company, and at this point I'm comfortable with the amount I have invested. I'd like to see some other people benefit from it as well. I've invested in the company myself over 2 or 3 investment tranches, and the opportunity for you to invest in on the same program I did has a limited window for you. You know how much fun it's going to be to see everyone win off sports and to see everyone win off this great company that I believe so much in, that I believe is not only a big money maker but really is going to make a difference in helping people. For me, I follow the rule that it's better to give than to receive. There's more blessings in giving and sharing. I strongly believe in that, and someday I might be sharing some other stuff with you on how much I'm doing in that area. I'm a huge believer that there's more joy in helping others than just trying to hoard money for yourself. I've always shared my wealth with many, many people, and I continue to do so at this day. Right now, if any of you have the risk tolerance and the capital to join me and a bunch of other investors in helping to launch this beautiful tech company, ZipHub, then just reach out and we'll get someone to get you the information. All I'm asking you to do, please understand, I'm not a stock advisor, I'm not a broker, I don't get anything out of anybody investing in ZipHub. There's no programs like that. I don't want anything to do with that. And if you don't want to invest, I still want you to know about this company because I want you to know how much it can help you in other ways and how much it can help the communities and your favorite nonprofits and churches and schools. I want you to know about this company. So again, this is not any sort of investment advice or a pitch. I'm just telling you what I did and why I did it. And if you get the information from the company and you kick the tires and you see what they're doing and you agree that this is a great investment, check with your advisors, check with whoever you want to check with as well, and see if they agree. But watch what happens. I'm making a prediction right now as the sports betting whale that ZipHub is going to end up being a major company, and it's going to be a very, very beneficial company to people all over the world. Very excited about it. Back to the sports for a minute. First of all, I want to give you the picks for today. So you'll see here on the screen that I put my money where my mouth is. I've got $20,250 of my own money at risk on these picks. The reason why I continue to bet tens of thousands of dollars of my own money every single day is because I know I'm going to win big every season. Common sense. If I didn't think I was going to win, why in the world would I bet this much? It doesn't make any sense. And why would my family and friends encourage me to bet so much? Because they always see I win. And when I win, I share it, and it makes them happy. Very simple. So I don't know of any single tout in the business who bets this kind of money on their own picks and releases them and keeps a tracker and all that. And I really look forward to just for you all seeing how well this is going to work for you. It's been spotty. We've had nice streaks, we've had cold streaks, but we've got a system now that's going to maximize the return during the hot streaks and minimize them during the cold streaks. Took a little while to develop it because, again, I have the ability to keep firing. A lot of people don't. So I had to really adjust my money management advice for people that are working off limited bankrolls. And I have, and you'll be able to take advantage of these big run opportunities without getting stuck during the cold streaks. I don't know of a single tout in the business who bets tens of thousands of dollars a day on their own picks. Typically, touts make their money from selling their picks. I'm not aware of any who relies on winning on their own picks for their main income. The difference with me is that I don't rely on selling the picks to make any money. I bet on my own picks, and I've been doing it for 30 years. This is the first time I've ever done where the picks go out to outside my friends and family. And it took some adjustment period. I think it had an impact on me, but I've adjusted well to it. I understand where everyone's coming from. I've listened to all the feedback, and I feel like going forward we have a wonderful program that's going to be very profitable for everybody. I bet on my own picks because I know that I will make a lot of money doing so, and I'll show you. So I'm going to give you the pick of the day now, and actually have the ticket here to show you. It's the Seattle Mariners. So you want to take the best bet of the day, it's Seattle Mariners today. And remember, we got football again starting tomorrow. So now, as I promised you earlier, I'm going to share with you the details on the major investment I recently made. So if you're interested in getting on board as well, the company is willing to offer you the same deal they offered me when I made my investment. Why are they doing that? Obviously, I put a lot more money in than probably 99% of anyone. In fact, no one else can because there's not that much left. But I want you to share in it. I want you to have the opportunity. If 10, 20, 30 people end up receiving hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in benefit from ZipHub when it goes public or sells, if it's successful like that. If ZipHub is successful, this isn't an opportunity that's going to be a small return. If it's successful in the pilot markets, it's going to be a huge company. So the question you have to ask yourself, and the question I had to ask myself too, is will it be successful in the pilot markets? With all that it has going on right now, I see the odds are very high it will be. Once that kicks in, it goes to the next stage, goes to equity funds, rolls out all over the US, then rolls out globally. Someone snatches it up or goes public. That's what happens if it's successful in the pilot markets. And right now it's set up very well to be successful. If it was already successful, the company would already be at the equity fund stage, dealing with the big funds that have put in $10, $20, $30 million to $200 million valuations, and we wouldn't even have this opportunity. The fact that it's right on the cusp of a major growth expansion and a launch, that's what I look for. I look for companies that are about to launch, and I try to get in right before they launch. And if they do launch, I make a killing. If the model doesn't work, okay, Annie in the poker game, and it's not going to kill me. So again, my strategy on everything, invest or bet an amount that doesn't change your life if you lose, but give yourself a chance to have a life-changing event if you're right. ZipHub is one of those life-changing events if we're right. So if you have some money that you can spare, again, you'll see on the paperwork, any startup company is always going to tell you that you have to be ready to take a 100% loss on it. So please don't take it from me that I'm saying it's guaranteed it's going to succeed. I think it has a great chance. I was willing to put my money in. A lot of my friends and family put money in as well. In the next segment of this video, you're going to be watching my recording from yesterday where I go into great detail about this investment and why I made it. Feel free to text the phone number you're seeing here on the screen if you're interested in tailing me, the whale, in my investment into ZipHub as well. Remember that when you follow along with me, you're not just following some Joe Schmo who only talks the talk. I'm someone who walks the walk as well. I have a track record of building tens of millions of dollars in wealth at the time I was in my 20s and hundreds of millions of dollars in my early 30s. I did it from a combination of betting on sports and investing in early startup companies that I determine and judge have explosive potential. You've all heard about the opportunities before, and many of you just kicking yourself even when a company just went public. Imagine if you'd have bought some stock in Amazon after it went public, or Google, or Microsoft, or any of these other technology companies. People who invested at the IPO still made a killing. Think about the people who invested before the IPO. Again, high risk, high return, but use your judgment. See if you agree that people are going to use this ZipHub concept and that they're going to get support and it's going to be a winner. That's what I'm asking you to do. Again, if you don't want to invest, look into it, see how else you can benefit from it. This company wants to help people. It has a heart, it's got a love one another message, and it really is truly implementing that. I believe that the ZipHub investment opportunity is exceptional. My friends and family and myself are all investing in it. We've invested to our comfort level as far as ratio of what we put into a startup, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot more than any of you would because there's just not that much left. But again, I put my money where my mouth is, and all I'm asking you to do, follow what I do in sports, see if the system makes sense to you, see if I make a lot of money, see if you make a lot of money, and if you have an interest in helping a company and helping yourself and your family to take off, take a look at ZipHub. I'm sure you'll be glad when you do. I like to invest in the stock market. I also like to invest in potentially big startup opportunities. Any of you that have been around as long as me have known that there's been some amazing opportunities with pre-IPO and IPO stocks in the tech world that create generational wealth. Wealth far beyond what anyone can earn through regular income opportunities in many lifetimes. Many of you have expressed some curiosity about what other successes I've had outside of sports betting and what I do with the extra money that I have. While I've made a fortune betting on sports, and it's been a great income source for me using my round robin system, half times, straight best bets and all that, I've also enjoyed a lot of success in business and in investing. I was a multi-millionaire in the 20s outside of just the sports betting on some business opportunities that I invested in and some that I actually started and operated and ran. Since then, I've been involved in startups that have accumulated hundreds of millions to billions of dollars in value from the combined efforts and investments that me and other people that I know have been involved with these different business opportunities. Not only have I made a lot of money betting sports, but I've also been an early investor and sometimes a co-founder in different internet and other companies that have generated hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars of wealth for people. And I've been able to participate in that at different stages throughout my career in investing. I look for things that have a huge return on investment. I've been involved in different startups and different stages of companies' growth for the last 25, 30 years. And I've become very successful at knowing which ones have tremendous potential based on what the investment opportunity is at the time. With that being said, if you're interested in knowing more about the same company that I invested heavily in back in May, enough to bring me out of my multi-million-dollar run from betting on sports, I'm happy to share some details with you. In fact, there may still be some time for you to participate and get in on the same investment deal that I did. Now, why would I be saying this? It's my nature to want to help people. I want to see as many people benefit as possible from it. I think it's the next big thing. The way this company is offering this deal is very unique. It's extremely investor friendly. It's extremely generous and thoughtful and actually caring. And so I really have been recommending it not only to my friends and family, but to anyone else I speak to. I have a lot of money in it myself, and I have a lot of friends and family who have invested as well. So again, I always put my money where my mouth is. I'm not going to recommend anything to you that hasn't been something that I'm doing myself at the same time. So what they've done is they've created a community search engine and a business-to-business search engine. They've developed it in a way that is different than Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Yahoo, Bing, and Google are informational searches. They make their money off pay-per-clicks. When people click one of the sponsored ads, the average click for Google is $2.49. Last year, they made $80 billion in click fees. The reason Google's worth $500 billion right now is because of those click fees. Most of the searches are informational searches, and people just going and looking for different things that they want to find out about on the web. What's different about ZipHub? ZipHub is a search for looking for products and services. So if you're wanting to buy a pizza, you go to ZipHub. If you want to get some dry cleaning done, you go to ZipHub. If you are looking for a good vacation deal, you go to ZipHub. If you're looking to find out what the distance between the sun and the moon is, you go to Google. If you're looking for the latest news information, whatever, you might go to Yahoo. But so if you're looking for strictly information, use the informational searches. But if you're looking to buy something, a product or a service in your neighborhood or online, you use ZipHub. Now why? Why would you use ZipHub? Well, ZipHub is set up by zip codes, as the name implies, where it's going to give you the information right around you in your neighborhood first. And it allows you to select which zip code you want to receive the information from. It's collecting thousands and tens of thousands and someday millions of businesses that will make a special offer to you as a ZipHub member. The membership is free. It doesn't cost anything to join. What they do is they have a give back model. So instead of just taking all the money in and keeping it for themselves, ZipHub cares about giving back. So what ZipHub does is very unique. It's a free membership that gives back to, not only does it give it back to its members in the form of earnings, also savings, but each member gets to select up to 5 nonprofits, churches, schools, charities, whatever they want. The system keeps track of all their clicks and then gives back to those nonprofits that the member selects. So if you went to Google and you click, you've just made an average of $2.49 for Google. What do you get out of it? Nothing. Do they give you a special deal as a Google member? Nope. Do they donate for you? Nope. Do they create an income opportunity for you? No. Do they have a system where the local advertisers can advertise by zip code so they can only hit a targeted audience? No. All of these things are all unique aspects of ZipHub. ZipHub's also created a business-to-business search engine, which Google doesn't have, Yahoo and Bing don't have. So if you're a business and you want to only sell to other businesses, you will be able to go on the ZipHub business-to-business section and reach targeted businesses, not consumers. If you're a business and you want to buy commercial products, you only want to buy from companies that sell B2B. Therefore, ZipHub's created a B2B search engine. That alone, if they're able to succeed in that, that's a multi-hundred-billion-dollar opportunity that is left untapped. So if you say, well, how are they going to compete against Google? They're really not. Google's got the informational search down. I know that ZipHub's not planning on going after that. What ZipHub's doing is creating an incentive for you to use their search engine so that you can get the local deals and the internet deals, and you can also donate to your top 5 most important nonprofits. You can help your local schools, you can help your local community, your local churches, your local nonprofit, whatever you want to do, and you create money for your family at the same time. So the whole theme of ZipHub is love one another, and what it's done is it's using something that everyone uses all the time, a search engine, and created a way to give back and to help people and to spread a united message. There are some other, even though the main feature of ZipHub is the search engine, there's also some other competitors ZipHub's going to be going against, like Groupon and the Ebates and Living Social, those type of companies. I've studied it quite a bit. Groupon, if you are an advertiser on Groupon, they're going to ask you generally to discount your products or services or your food and drinks by 50%. That's a lot to start with, and it gets kind of uglier from there. The next thing they're going to ask you to do is to give them 25% of the 50% that they're collecting, so you're splitting it. So let's give you an example. You're a restaurant and you want to go on Groupon. You offer $50 worth of food and services for $25. Of the $25, Groupon keeps $12.50, and they also take a service fee. So you're going to end up with about $12 of the $25 of the $50. And to make matters worse, Groupon collects the money from the consumer, not you, and they pay you 1 to 2 months later. So you've just gone ahead and delivered $50 worth of food and beverage to a customer, and you're going to get less than $12.50 back 1 or 2 months later. I mean, now you know why a lot of small advertisers and small businesses and a lot of businesses, period, won't continue on with Groupon. Groupon has a hole in the bucket when it comes to getting and keeping advertisers. Now let's look at what ZipHub's doing for the advertiser. ZipHub reversed the model on Groupon. So with ZipHub, instead of Groupon forcing you to make a high discount deal, cutting that in half and keeping the money for a month or two, ZipHub uses a pay-per-click model. So someone comes to your site within ZipHub, you have your own microsite as an advertiser, you get charged an average of $1 a click. Remember, Google's $2.49. Also, ZipHub's not charging you as an advertiser for any multiple clicks from the same IP address. There's a lot of shenanigans going on with the Google AdWords and AdSense and everything on robotic and forced clicks and competitive clicks and all that. It's estimated that 50% of all paid clicks on the other search engines are not legitimate. So ZipHub's, again, with the love one another, win-win-win approach, has created a system where the advertisers are only going to be billed based on legitimate clicks, and even make it even better. They're the first company ever with a guaranteed return on investment for advertisers. When you advertise on ZipHub, you end up with a guarantee. So let's say that you owe ZipHub $500 in 2 weeks. Well, that's generated a profitable return for you, or they'll credit you against the guaranteed return. They set returns formulas for every single category of business that they work with. How refreshing is that? You know how tough it is for a local advertiser to find an effective way to advertise, especially if they only want to hit a couple zip codes, a 10-mile radius or a 15-mile radius. You can't do radio because it's citywide. You can't do search engines, it's citywide. You can't do TV, it's citywide. There's really no opportunities. That's why Groupon took off and was the fastest company to $1 billion in sales in U.S. history, because they went out to the local businesses with this new way to capture customers. It just wasn't a fair business model, and it hasn't grown, and it's actually not doing well as compared to expectations because the model isn't fair. ZipHub is all about win-win-win. Everyone wins. The members get on for free, they save money, they make money, they give to their favorite charities. The consumers not only benefit by saving money, earning money, and giving to their favorite nonprofits, but they also benefit because compared to a Groupon, Groupon has a very small breadth of types of advertisers that can be on that platform. ZipHub has insurance companies, for instance, that are on there that can't offer discounts, but they'll offer a free consultation and some gift cards like to Starbucks and stuff if you'll say you're from ZipHub. So there's so many different ways as a consumer that you win. You win so much more than you would with Groupon or with Google or Yahoo or Bing. That's why I really believe this model is going to take off. In the pilot markets in Texas and in Nevada, they've already signed up thousands of advertisers that under contract, that now the next step is the big consumer drive. This gets exciting. This is why I reinvested, and this is why I want you guys to know about ZipHub, so you can join ZipHub. You can, if you're an advertiser, you can join as an advertiser. You can benefit from all the different ways. You can help support your nonprofits. And if you, like me, like to invest in startups that have a huge upside, they've got a tremendous investment opportunity that you can call them and hear all about it and see for yourself if you agree with me on it. So the consumer wins compared to Google, compared to Yahoo, Bing, Groupon, Ebates, etc. The advertisers win. It's a guaranteed return on investment, unheard of. It's never been done in advertising before. The nonprofits, churches, and schools and communities all win because they now have a new revenue stream of donations that they so desperately need, and people don't have to write checks. All you're doing is doing what you do anyways. Instead of going to Google, you go to ZipHub and you click. Now again, if you're looking for strictly information, go to Google. But if you're looking to buy something, all of the advantages are there for you to use ZipHub instead of using any of the other search engines. So what's next? They need to get the consumer drive going. So right now, they're raising some extra capital to be able to do a big consumer launch. And catch this, they've got Stan Lee as their ambassador. Stan Lee is the chairman of Marvel Entertainment, creator of Spider-Man and all the Marvel characters. He has 10 million social media fans. He's never endorsed a company outside of Marvel before. He's going to do commercials nationally. He's going to be using his social media to tell everybody about ZipHub. He's an owner in ZipHub and an extremely popular and great person. He's 94 years old and he considers ZipHub and the uniting the country message as his most important legacy in life. And keep in mind, he's the creator of the Marvel characters. He's going to be on Jeopardy soon. You'll see him. He's got his own star on in Hollywood. He's just a really popular guy. He does a cameo in every single Marvel movie. If any of you are Marvel fans, there's 55 million of you out there that are avid Marvel fans. He's always in the movies. So if you've never heard of him, look him up, Stan Lee Marvel, and you'll see how popular he is. He's never done an endorsement deal before. He has a new foundation called Hands of Respect. They're starting a big advertising campaign, a TV campaign, radio campaign. On the radio side, they're working with Dave Ramsey. Many of you may have heard of him. He has about 11 million people who follow him on the radio. He's got what's called a financial peace course, where he helps people to get their financial house in order. And he believes that ZipHub is actually his teachings in action. What does he teach? He teaches you how to save, teaches how to earn extra income, and he always is a big believer in giving. So that there's an alignment between ZipHub going forward in the radio with Dave Ramsey as well. In addition, they've made one of the first deals ever with the unions. They have 85 unions in the state of Nevada that are signing up their members as we speak. There's 151,000 union members in Nevada. There are 12.5 million union members in the United States, and ZipHub is working with all of the union members to be able to spread this word and to help the working class in the union membership. There's a bunch of churches that have signed up, there's nonprofits that have signed up, there's schools that have signed up. You can imagine how this is going to go viral. This wonderful, loving, united, unifying message is going to go viral all over the world. People are going to want to use the ZipHub search engine and platform as advertisers and as consumers. And of course, the nonprofits are going to be supporting it with their members as well. Right now, they just need a little bit more of a kickstart, which I've been helping them with. As you can imagine, launching a technology company is expensive, and they haven't gone to the VC route. They haven't gone to the venture capitalists yet. They want to make sure they can keep this loving message intact. If they went to the VCs too soon, the VCs would say, why are you giving away 25 or 30% of your sales? Why don't you lower that? And, you know, this love one another message. So with the massive consumer drive they're doing, Stan Lee, his 10 million social media audience, the commercials they're running, radio with Dave Ramsey, the unions, the churches, the schools, the nonprofits, they're going to get off to a fast launch here. They've spent a lot of money on the technology, getting the apps developed. There's still always, with technology companies, they've got a team that will continue to enhance what they're doing on the website and on the mobile platforms. From my perspective, I think it's a fantastic company. The people involved in it are great. I really believe that they're going to be very successful, and I believe they're going to help a lot of people. And anyone that invests in it is going to very likely get an enormous return as they're helping people at the same time. I know they're looking for people who share in their values and their mission. They didn't go the VC route. They didn't go a route where they went to the institutional funding. They've raised all the money from their own friends and family. I happen to know some people at the company and was given the opportunity to invest in it, which I gladly did, and I re-upped again in May. The reason I'm telling you all about it, I'm just excited about what they're doing. I really would like to see as many people as possible get involved in one way or the other, not just from an investment or advertising, but as a consumer. You're going to be hearing a lot about ZipHub in the future. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting, innovative, giving companies in the history of the planet, and I'm very, very pleased to be a part of it. This is one of the once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that most of us never really get a chance to be a part of. And not only do they have a win-win-win approach with their consumers, their advertisers, and nonprofits, they've got a win-win-win-win because they've got a program for the investors that is incredibly generous and fair. And that's why they're only looking for people who share in this mission. This is a company which I believe in my heart, mind, and soul is going to be a huge winner. I think it's going to be a game changer for many, many people throughout this world. I'm excited about it not only on the return on investment, but the potential it has to really be life-changing for millions to tens of millions to hundreds of millions of people. When you see about it and read about it and watch what they're doing, I think a lot of you are going to share in the same passion that I have. For myself, aside from being able to help countless people around the world, I also believe that my investment into ZipHub is going to end up generating, for me, hundreds of millions of dollars in wealth. This will make up for some of the hostile takeovers I've had in companies. This company is set up where there is no possibility of a hostile takeover, and that was something I was very careful to check out before I was willing to put so much money into this company and put my friends and family money in as well. If you're interested in making an investment into ZipHub as well, just text the number you see on the screen so someone can get back to you with more details on how you can join in on this incredible opportunity yourself. Again, my mission is to help you make money using the same approaches and channels that I've always used throughout my life. You've seen how I've been able to do it from betting on sports. Investing in internet tech startups has been another way of generating huge fortunes. I believe that ZipHub is going to be the next big thing, and that early investors will see a huge growth in their investment as ZipHub continues to scale. That's why I've decided to invest heavily into the company. The opportunities here in a very limited time basis for you as well if you're interested in joining hands with me and helping a very, very great company to launch. I want to emphasize to you again how it's my goal to help you make money using the same methods that I've used all my life. I've done it through betting on sports, and I've done it through investing in early stage internet tech startup companies. This is the same exact formula that I used to build a net worth of over $100 million from a young age at a time when my peers were still struggling to pay off their student loans. I believe that ZipHub is going to be my next home run winner. So things are happening so fast at ZipHub that even between shooting these videos, they are announcing a major milestone that just has occurred as well. ZipHub had already received approval and has a letter you can see on their investor relations page from the AFL-CIO that they as a top group had already approved a full marketing and partnership with ZipHub. Well, what happened yesterday was amazing. The presentation was done to the executive council of all unions, all union heads in the state of Nevada. A lot of them, this was the first time they'd heard about it because it's an annual meeting. Well, the presentation was made by ZipHub, and immediately it was moved by some of the union president, local chapters, that they also want to be part and really support the ZipHub opportunity for their members and for their unions. It ended up being a unanimous vote. Every single union voted yes to a full partnership with ZipHub in the state of Nevada, which will obviously lead to the same unions all over the United States, which would touch 12 million households through that approach alone. A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort went into creating the unionhub.ziphub.com. So if you're not a union member, you go to ZipHub. If you are a union member, you go to the Union Hub. Now think about this. Unions are going to use unionhub.ziphub.com now to communicate with all of their members. This becomes their platform to reach out. When you go in there, you'll see the social media, the meetup groups, the classifieds, all the news on the unions, and everything else that they wanted in this environment that ZipHub created for them. They're doing the same thing with the universities across the country and across the world. They're doing it with nonprofits. They're going to do it with other church and school organizations. Even, people can set up hubs for anything that they want. So if you are a union member, you go to Union Hub. If you're not a union member, you just go to the regular ZipHub. But all of the offers and advertisements and all that flow through seamlessly in both environments. I'm very, very excited. This is a major milestone and will allow ZipHub to quickly capture many active consumers. One of the other things that's really important was what they were excited about was giving their union members an opportunity to make income, extra income. This is quite a nice perk as a union member to be part of this unionhub.zip hub and be one of the first in the state of Nevada to be able to go out and sign up the neighbors and friends and everyone else that are not union members to join in. How it works at ZipHub is if somebody signs up a consumer, ZipHub gives them 10% of all their click activity. If they sign up a business, they get 5% of all the click revenue that comes from the advertisers. So not only are you saving money when you use ZipHub, but if you just refer people in, again, it's free as a consumer to join ZipHub. If you refer somebody in, you get 10% of whatever click revenue. Imagine referring someone to click at Google and you get 10% of every time they search on Google. That's what ZipHub's done here. It's going to create a huge affiliate relationship that is going to be, in my opinion, almost impossible to compete against and to stop or to replicate, because the ZipHub is going to move very fast. And what ZipHub is doing now is they're finalizing their friends and family round, which is an unbelievable fair deal to the investors. Then they're going to the big equity funds. That's the next move. They've got equity funds lined up to put in $20–25 million for expansion across the United States. The next step after that would be go into an IPO or an acquisition mode. And if this model succeeds, as I think it will, and the people at ZipHub think it will, you're talking about a company that will be worth tens to hundreds of billions of dollars. So it's the biggest opportunity I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot. Plus, I'm very passionate about their mission in wanting to help people and help the local communities. I think that the world will be very receptive to this. Again, like I've talked about before, where companies that give back and are charitable by nature, and this is real with them, this is part of their heart, this is part of who they are at ZipHub. I think people are going to really feel good about being involved in it. And at ZipHub, people save money, earn money, and help their favorite 5 causes at the same time. It's brilliant, and I really look forward to seeing it expanding very rapidly and becoming a household brand, and that's where I think it's going. I've been involved in startups for all the way since I was in my 20s, and there's different stages and there's different tipping points, and when a startup becomes a real company and then accelerates and becomes a big company. And I've studied, not only have I been involved in a lot of them, I've studied a lot of the companies that have done it. It's very fascinating to me. You know, how did Google become Google? How did Facebook become Facebook? How did Microsoft become Microsoft? How did Amazon become Amazon? It all started with one person, and then who built a team around an idea and a concept, and they got traction. Once they got traction, the equity markets kicked in and took them off to the stars. So ZipHub right now is proving the model out before they go to the big equity funds so that they don't get swallowed up by these equity funds. That's what I said. I've been involved in a couple of hostile takeovers, the companies I invested in heavily. I'm really proud of the way ZipHub's board of directors is not going to the equity funds until the model is proven out. So what ends up happening is that once a company goes through their pilot stage and proves out the model, now think about the first In-N-Out Burger or McDonald's or Subway sandwiches. Once they show, hey, this model works, then it goes into huge expansion. Companies are valued based on where they're going, not where they're at now. Like right now, you know, the value of a Kmart or the value of a Sears or some of these old-fashioned, you know, J.C. Penney's and the old companies, Montgomery Wards and stuff that don't even exist anymore. Value of the company is based on the earning potential in the future. You take an internet company and they make this exponential, not only on profits but on sales, or if they don't even have sales yet, on eyeballs, how many people are using it. Great thing about ZipHub is it gets the eyeballs, it gets the sales, but it also gets the profits. Search engines are extremely profitable. When someone clicks on a search, the cost to the search engine for delivering the results is basically zero. They spend a lot of money in the technology, and they've got servers, and you know, in the case of ZipHub, they're using Amazon Web Services, and so they're piggybacking off of Amazon. But when people click on it, At Google, Google makes $2.49. At ZipHub, maybe they make $1.25 per click or something like that. But what's the cost of the click? Nothing. It's air. It's free to the company that's the search engine. It's why search engines can be the most profitable companies ever. How is the market going to value ZipHub? If ZipHub gets 10 to 20,000 active users in Nevada, the valuation of the company, according to the experts in the equity field, are saying $150 to $200 million, just with 10 to 20,000 active people. Why? Because it's proven out that people will use it and people are clicking and it's creating money and the technology works and the apps work. A lot of money going into that to get to this point. So that's the next stage. That should occur in the next 60 to 90 days in the state of Nevada and also in Texas. From there, the equity funds know that it's just a matter of replicating what worked in the pilot markets in other markets. And capital does that. Creating awareness does that. And it becomes a much easier business to expand. So again, think about the first Subway sandwiches or the first McDonald's, the first In-N-Out burgers, whatever franchise restaurant you can think of. Started as one, proved out, then they went to 2 to 3, and all of a sudden the money poured in for them to expand across the country and across the globe. ZipHub is a very unique idea that gives back, helps everybody, win-win-win across the board. It's going to be very popular with consumers, with advertisers, and with nonprofits. You can go in and look at the videos on their homepage. It explains how everyone that participates with ZipHub wins. Now they're bringing in famous people like Stan Lee to endorse it. Many, many other people will be coming in soon. I handicap the odds of ZipHub being a big success in the upper 90s. I mean, huge success. It's really one of the best opportunities I've ever seen. With any business, there's unforeseen risks. Now, who knows what could go wrong? It's possible something could go wrong, but the way they've structured this piece of it, you're getting your money back and you're getting the stock options for free. So I really think that's an incredibly fair offer for the people that are joining in now. Once this offer is over, that's the end of that offer. From then on, the individual investor will have no chance to get into ZipHub. It's going to be equity funds and then straight to an acquisition or an IPO. So if you are interested in it, it's something you would have to take a quick look at, because you might decide to do it and be told that it's already sold out. And you know, I've invested heavily. My friends and family have invested heavily in it as well. And to me, the opportunity for you to get involved with an amount that's affordable, that you can put into the risk pool on your stock portfolio, is something that you should seriously take a quick look at. If it's not for you, great. But if it is, join the team at ZipHub and make a difference in this world, and watch what happens to that stock if this model proves out the way I think it will. So getting into the specifics of what ZipHub offered me, is why I was willing to pull so much money off the table back in May. You know, like anyone else, I have investments that are in non-liquid. I've got investments that I want to hold. I've got different portfolios. So I have a certain amount of liquidity for short-term investments, either in the sports world or if an opportunity comes up unexpectedly. So I use some money towards the ZipHub opportunity. What ZipHub is offering you, which is the same thing they offered me, it's a friends and family round until it's sold out. There's $1.3 million left on this particular round. 3.7 million on this particular offer has already been put in. So it's on the tail end of it. And me and my friends and family were a significant portion of the 3.7 million to cover all of the technology and apps and everything they needed to do to get to this stage. What the offer is that you get back a revenue share note, and you get 12% interest, and you get options to buy stock for 2 years at 10 cents. 12% is a great return anyways, but the kicker of getting those 10-cent options is really where the action's at. So I'll give you an example. If the pilot works as I think it will, and ZipHub thinks it will, the next stock price in the equity round is $1 to $1.50 a share. And the reason the equity funds are willing to pay that is because they want to see that be $100 a share. They like to see huge returns, so they're not coming in. They're no dummies. The equity funds ZipHub's working with are some of the biggest in the world. They would come in at that valuation $1.50 a share, try to make it go up to $50 to $500 a share. The deal that ZipHub's offering you, you get 12% interest. You participate in the pool of 10% of the revenue. So as the revenue comes in monthly, you're receiving your interest and your principal payments. In addition, when they get to the tail end of the next equity round, if there's any notes principal still due, they're going to go ahead and clear out the notes so that they're a debt-free company. The 10-cent stock options allow you to buy stock at 10 cents that's going to be worth $1 to $1.50 in 60 to 90 days once ZipHub, and again, if ZipHub makes it through this next stage with the consumer drive, with the unions, with Stanley advertising, with social media, TV, radio, all of the different, Dave Ramsey, all the different things they're doing to get consumers in. I think it's a slam dunk they're going to get through that phase, but again, they haven't done it yet. So the more money they have, the more fuel and power they have to get through that phase, the better. At that point, the equity funds come in, $1.50 a share. Well, you're sitting at 10-cent stock options, and you're getting 12% interest, and you're getting your money back. Then, from there, it grows. And that's where you'll see internet companies go from a $100 million valuation to $1 billion to $10 billion to even greater. Like, it seems like overnight. It happens very quickly as the momentum kicks in. If ZipHub's right, if my analysis of ZipHub is right, if a lot of people that have invested in ZipHub are correct, then you're going to see the company expand throughout the United States and across the globe, and it will be another Google, another Facebook, another Amazon type valuation company, which would make the stock worth astronomical numbers, you know, 500 to thousands of dollars a share. But let's just say that it ends up that it isn't nearly as good as I'm thinking, and the stock price ends up worth $20 a share. Well, you have options at 10 cents. So you would exercise those options at 10 cents, same as me, and we'd be able to buy the stock for 10 cents that's trading for $20. That would be a 200 to 1 return on money that we've already received back with interest. I've never seen a deal like this before. The reason they're doing it is because they want to help people out and they want to stay out of the hands of the venture capitalists at this stage until they've proven the model. It's a very smart strategy, and I applaud them for doing this. So again, there's a limited amount of this left. They're wanting to spread the love, so to speak, and allow the opportunity for people that normally never do get a chance like this to participate in this great, great company. If you're interested in learning more about ZipHub and possibly even considering an investment or helping in other ways, just text the number you see here on the screen, and I can get back to you. Someone from the organization will get back to you with more details on how you can join in on this wonderful opportunity yourself. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you share my passion for ZipHub and the opportunity to change the world and to make tremendous wealth at the same time.